I have a hot take. People think that New Yorkers are mean. I disagree. Okay, story time. Why are we talking about this? Yesterday, let's just say I was not having a great day. It was a rough day. I work remotely, but yesterday I did have to go on site to help shoot the CEO for something. But afterwards, I decided to go work at a local coffee shop. So something I've been meaning to do this year is to change my name to match my husband Vlad's. We both have been planning to change our last name, and he got to do it in a slightly easier but also not easier way of like just getting his citizenship. And I, on the other hand, had to file a name change petition. I am sure that you have had, just all the joys of making sure that you have proof of your identity. So I had to file a name change petition. I have flexible Fridays, so sometimes we have the option to take a half day early if we've already completed most of our work, and we can use it to go maybe run some errands or do something for yourself. So last week I decided to use my Flex Friday to go to the civil court. Yes. And so while I'm preparing all of my documents on the website, it gives you instructions on how to file your name change petition. It makes sure that you read everything before you go to the court to make sure that you do everything right. Right. And so, yes, I followed the instructions to the best that I could. And I printed everything out and I checked before I went to see what time the court closes. It said that the court closes at 5 p.m. And unless you had an emergency, they would not be accepting any documents past 4:30. So I got there at 4:20. So what they failed to say on the website was that the cashiering office closes at 4 p.m. Yeah. So was I able to file my name petition that day? No, of course not. And so I was like, okay, I have to go back. I go to the court. And this time, of course, because before 4 p.m., the cashiering office is open. So I go to the cashier. It costs $65 for me to file my name change petition. So I give her my card and she says, it's $65 exact cash. I forgot to bring cash. That was my fault, to be honest, because that actually wasn't the instructions and I completely forgot to bring cash. So honestly, this was like all on me. And she tells me, okay, well, there's a ATM downstairs and it only prints out 20s. So I go downstairs, right? And I try to use the ATM and I figure, okay, maybe I'll just stop by some convenience store next door and break one of the 20s into 5s. The ATM is not working for me. It's not working. I don't know what it is, but it was like, no, we're not giving you money. And so I went to 3 different banks. Yes, you heard that right. 3 different banks. Luckily, they were all really close by, so I didn't have to walk too far. But yes, I went to 3 different banks to try to get money. The first one wasn't really a bank where I had an account, so I kind of understood like, okay, maybe I should go to one where I have an account. So I go to Citibank and I have a credit account. And they said, no, like you can't withdraw money unless you have a debit account or you have to call. Okay. And they said, well, isn't there one nearby where you do have a debit account for? And I'm like, yes, I have this one. And they're like, oh, there's that bank location nearby. And so I go to that bank. ATM is still not working for me. The people who were helping at the front saw my card and they were like, yeah, girl, that card, bad luck. Like, just don't use that card. And I was like, okay, awesome. So eventually I get help from one of the bankers and she is able to get me the money I need. Thank God they did print multiples of 5. So I did not have to go to a convenience store afterwards. But yes, so I was able to get that money that way. But while I was there was a guy named Greg who was helping me and he was so nice, guys. Like, he was listening to my struggles and he got me a free drink because it was Capital One and they had the Capital One Cafe. And honestly, like, totally made my day better. So shout out to you, Greg, for being so kind to me because I really was not having it yesterday. Okay. I was not having it. But yeah, that made my day a little bit better. And so I'm like, okay, well, I still have to go back to the court. Okay. Right. And so I'm running back and I go inside. I get to the lady at the desk. Her name is Carla. We love Carla. We'll die for her, literally. And Carla's helping me. She looks at my receipt because I already paid. And she's like, oh, you already paid. And I'm like, yes. And she's like, oh, that's not how it works. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Carla? What do you mean that's not how it works? And she said, no, like you're supposed to go here first and then pay. And I was like, that's not what they told me when I came on Friday. But she was so nice. Bless her soul. And she looks at my birth certificate, which I only brought a copy and not the original because it said in the instructions that whatever documents you bring were not going to be given back to you, so you should make copies. Carla said, that ain't right. She's like, where does it say that? And so I show her on the instructions because on the instructions it said to print out the instructions. Thank God I did. And so I show it to her and she's like, no, like this is wrong. I will let them know they need to change these instructions. And I'm like, okay, got it. And then she's like, oh, what's your reason for changing your name? And I'm like, well, I'm changing it to match my husband's. And she's like, okay, well, you need your marriage certificate. Carla, this was not in the instructions. Okay? Like, this was not in the instructions. And I told her it was my third time going back to the court because it was. And she probably saved my entire day because I was about to cry right then and there. I was on the verge of tears. And I swear if she was not nice to me, which she totally was, I would have had a mental breakdown. This isn't the first time that I've experienced kindness from New Yorkers. There have been times where I would be carrying like heavy luggage with me going up and down the subway stairs and people would just help me and then go on about their day. And I appreciate it so much because I don't think I've ever received this amount of help and kindness or understanding from any other place that I've lived in until I lived in New York. These small things really do go a long way. The small acts of kindness that Carla and Greg showed me yesterday made my day. And if they hadn't shown me that, I think, my day would have been significantly worse. And I think it's so important to just be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through. This is not something I have ever shared publicly. Like, really only few people, even in my personal life, know about this. And this is my first time saying it publicly to my 588 subscribers on YouTube. But I am apparently moderately depressed, according to my therapist. And it can really be a struggle sometimes to just go about your day and think that everything's okay. And sometimes when you receive just a little bit of unkindness, it can really break you. And I very much disagree with the statement that New Yorkers are mean because I think they are some of the most helpful people around. And I'm so happy to be here. So shout out and thank you to Greg and Carla. I don't know if you're ever going to see this video, but I just want to say thank you so much for being kind to me yesterday. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Hope you have an amazing day.